Now, it's late night, and as I was sitting, now walking, I'm thinking, contemplating about how based on some recent information that showed up in awareness, how there's a lot of men out here getting spiritually attacked that are falling for traps. And I used to be one of those dudes. So I want to share this and shed some light on this, because this information is going to live on long after this one. And there's a lot of men that are trying to sleep with as many women as they can. They think it's cool. That's a societal standard. But I'm talking to all men, that's setting you up for getting spiritually drained. Say you go to the club, for instance. That environment, it's not even that people there have the intent to drain you. It's that certain entities and energies are there because it's easy pickings. People are intoxicated and they're playing certain music, and when you're in that state and in that environment, you set yourself up to get spiritually drained. As men walking on the path to semen retention, in the spiritual realm, these entities see your light. You're a bright, shining light. Energy is the greatest currency. And that's the language of the spiritual realm. Not necessarily words and verbiage, which I'm using now. It's your energy. And when you commit to semen retention, you're operating at a high frequency. And with a heightened sense of spiritual sensitivity. Because your central nervous system is activated. The river of light, the river of life. The light is going up your spine, and it activates all the endocrine centers, the chakras, the energy centers along the spine. And therefore, since your nervous system is very alive and active, you're very sensitive. The nerve endings pick up signals in the environment much better, much clearer. And when you commit to semen retention, you feel better. You think clear. You attract better things, different situations. You know, a lot of men out here, is something I've observed. I've never been one to pass the buck and place the blame elsewhere, blame things on women. But I see a lot of men out here that are saying, you know, these women are like this, and that. But the truth is, the fact is that it's not that women are like that. It's that you attract those type of women based on your vibration. Those are the women you attract and that you're still attracted to. Because perhaps, like I was a victim too. I don't define myself as a victim, but a state that I used to operate in was having been programmed by society and its standards and the people around me. But now that I see clearly, I'm not, and every time I say I am, I'm aware of this. Now, I'm not influenced by the world around me so much, because you want to understand that our Creator has ultimate power in all domains. When you operate from absolute love, nothing can get in the way of this. You purify any environment that you go into. I mentioned the clubs, and you go into the club. You're in a high vibration. You're not susceptible to these influences because you purify them. I just mentioned the spine, how the light is flowing upwards in the spine. Well, since you exist upstream in the river of light, those entities and negative spiritual energies that are a lower level, we can say demons, we can give them that label. You purify them effortlessly based on your heightened energy. And they can't attach themselves to you or drain you because you're firmly committed to the semen retention journey, to your spiritual journey. And therefore, you're automatically, eternally protected. And you protect those around you, not through any personal will, but because the power of spirit is moving through you. Because you realize that true willingness is having no will of your own. You surrender personal ambitions and that drivenness to accomplish things for personal benefit. You surrender your will to the Most High. And therefore, the Most High can move and work and manifest through you and purify the world around you. Uplift those who may be affected by these lower level energies. And they may not even know it consciously. Like I said, people at the club, they're not trying to drain you intentionally. They just may have something attached to them that is in them and they don't even know it, that sees your light and wants to feed off you, wants to experience certain things in this 3D physical realm, physical reality, through you and your body. They want to experience certain sensations and lower vibrations. But since you're operating at a high vibration as a man committed to semen retention, again, realize that there's automatic protection. Nothing can supersede your vibration, that which you are. Don't want to be one of those dudes that are influenced by hookup culture. Societal standards. I used to be one of those dudes. I know. I know how it is to have the awareness that I am, that is eternal. Be captivated and attracted by the world. And to identify with the sensory physical impressions as opposed to the unchanging, timeless, eternal witness that I am, that we all are at heart. And so I make this to say that the power of Christ, our Creator, within you, has ultimate power in all domains. Wherever you find yourself to be, if you're moved and animated by the love which knows no condition, which says, I love you, no matter who you are, you love all you meet equally, then you can never be drained spiritually, because you're aligned with eternity. Because you walk in purity. You focus on yourself. You walk the straight and narrow path. Don't get distracted and don't deviate because you're unwavering. Practically, we, as men, commit to celibacy, semen retention, to develop discipline. As young men especially, the best thing that we can learn is to control our decisions, our decision-making process, to control our energy, our sexual energy, so that our awareness isn't pulled outwardly. We're not drained spiritually. Whatever activity, we maintain a certain steadiness. A certain groundedness, simultaneous transcendence, where we're here, aware from within this physicality, but we know ourselves to be, I am something beyond this. I am not this body. Yes, it is true, as men, as humans, women, we all have a physicality, but we have to learn to see beyond the physical. The temporal. Anybody watching this channel is dedicated to bettering themselves each and every day, is at a higher vibration. And therefore, we want to understand that even though we're moving and operating from our intuition is our spiritual GPS, our eternal compass, although we're operating from this intuition, not everything in the world is at such a high vibration, is as in tune. And so we want to be cautious and be careful. That, in essence, is the basis of this. Be careful and cherish your eternal spiritual energy, that which lives on after you leave this body. 333, 33 vertebrae in the human spine. Christ died at age 33. Check out the previous video the Lord made about the Christ oil, the holy science, the sacred substance, the oil of gladness, the Christ within us. That's the video title that the Lord moved me to make.